Do any of the directors in Brantford know any of the candidates for the by-election?
No, I don't know.
Okay, good. Can you also turn on your cameras, please? Possible? Just the directors, happy. For now. All right, so 2 conflicts of interest, means you guys have to abstain from the vote. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Motion by Mr. Michael, seconded by Director Winnicott. Any discussion on the matter? All right, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes. Director Godse Shaw, can you please vote? 0 to 9. All right, move on to the adoption of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion that the board of directors adopt the consent agenda of EL2D, financial conditions and activities? Motion by Director Rusolo, seconded by Director St. George. Any discussion on the matter? All right, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0 to 10. All right, moving on to comments from myself. Oh, I have a question. Is the elections policy been reviewed already? Yes. Okay. Also, for the Waterloo directors, I just need to know who's available to come to the Brantford meeting. Next on October 7th, we're gonna leave Waterloo at 5:30. Have dinner in Brantford and then have our meeting. We should be back before the dawn's meetings out.
What time are we leaving Waterloo?
5:30. Like right after, because some people have class until 5:20, and then we're gonna leave.
So once we have the one.
Yeah, like once their classes are done, then we'll head out. Do you have a,
Yeah, I finished class at 5:20.
okay, so you're okay to come then?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys all good? Good.
I'd have to check my schedule first.
Okay,
I do have a midterm around that time as well. So
right, okay,
I'd have to like double check. I'll
Yeah.
probably let you know by like tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, class. Alright, so far we'll be at 8, maybe 7, without not. All right. And Noah, you're coming to the dinner? I just have to talk to the finance committee about when we're going to meet, so I'll talk to you guys about that.
All right, sounds good.
Your finger.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for me. All right, comments from the president CEO.
Cool. I have kind of combo of Phil and I's comments today. He's on a last minute vacation to New York that I'm extremely jealous of. But we early sit down last week with Andrea Davis, the new associate VP of EDI for the university. Had a great conversation with her, got to know her a little bit, her priorities for her portfolio in the coming years. We also sat down with David McMurray, VP Student Affairs, to set some upcoming priorities for our relationship with that office and how we're going to work with them going forward on the rest of the year, and our Student Affairs Advisory Agreement, or we probably call it the SAAA throughout the year. As you all know, ongoing work with the air chillers and air handling units. Phil's actively working on that project, not a ton of updates, but work is going. Consent Awareness Week is this week. It's a partnership between our government and stakeholder relations team and the Consenters Golden Crew. So you'll see some programming around both of the Waterloo and Brantford campuses throughout the week, starting tomorrow, which should be fun. And then we're starting to look at a project on how students are accessing supports through the Dean of Students Office and how that student's faculty impacts the rate at which they're accessing those supports, if that makes sense. So there's a bit of a discrepancy in some initial data and what faculty are accessing supports at what rate. So we're trying to see why that might be the case and how we can make sure students are getting equitable support across the board. Ongoing work with Greek Life and some of their organizations on our MOU. And then me and my team have set student engagement as a priority for the year. So that work has started, now executing on a multi-campus level. In Waterloo, we are weekly on Thursdays out of the office, moving somewhere on campus. Brantford, that's bi-weekly. Our volunteer operations team executed our fall volunteer appreciation kickoffs last week. So foam fests on both the campuses. If you folks saw that, a ton of fun, very messy, but well worth it. And then weekly programming is up and running in Wilfs, so that's trivia every Wednesday, and then bingo and trivia are alternating on the Brainerd campus at Hudson's. So seeing some good turnout of those, which is great.
Does anyone have any questions for them? I was just looking in the agenda package and the statement of operations, is that guys, or is that for the financial report?
Scroll through my mom.
So, I was just like, so that's you guys, that's you though?
Probably.
It's on page 81.
Stand by. It's probably Chris or I.
Okay,
So that would be, that's part of the financial update from Chris, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can present that. Hi, everyone. For those of you that haven't met me yet, I'm the Director of Finance for the Students Union. We will bring financial reporting to this board over your term, probably 3 or 4 times, typically after each semester is over. And you will also get to see the audited financial statements from last fiscal year. So our fiscal year runs from May 1st to April 30th. So this report is for the first 4 months of the year, April to the end of August. For those of you who have looked at the numbers, if you look at our statement of operations, it looks not good. But part of my presentation to this board is I wanted to explain why it is that way. And it's like that every year. So I don't want anyone to be worried by the numbers they look or by the numbers they see. So why don't we start with we'll go a little bit out of order. There's I don't know specifically what page it is, but the statement of revenue, it's probably page 82 or 83. So just so you know, how the student union works is we get money sporadically. So we never really have a steady stream of income across the year. We get our student fees and our health and dental money in the fall at one time, and again at the winter in one time, and very little over the summer term. So you'll see for the summer, so basically May to August, we'd only budgeted $620,000 in revenue. We pulled in more revenue than that, $756,000 from a number of different sources. Mostly it's student fees that we get in the summertime. So that would be the Fred Nichols Campus Center line and the governance and student fees line. So we pulled in about $135,000 more in the summer. So that statement of revenues, very typical for our organization, less than $1 million of revenue in the summer. So then if you flip to the schedule of expenses, you'll see we actually budgeted over $4 million in expenses during the summer period. We came in less than that at 2.7 million. And again, that's fairly typical as well. Although we're not pulling in revenues over the summer, our expenses tend to be fairly standard across the year. So we're still paying out health and dental claims to students. We're still buying everything we need to buy for O Week. We're bringing in all the food to open our restaurants. We're starting to buy significant number of items for orientation in the upcoming fall. So $2.7 million in actual expenses is to be expected. Again, the largest share of that is at the Fred Nichols Campus Center, and health and dental claims is actually the biggest one in the summer. So then if you flip to the statement of operations, you'll see for the first 4 months, we have revenue of $756,000. We have expenses of $2.7 million. So we're in a deficit position after 4 months of just almost $2 million, a little less than $2 million. Again, nobody freak out, please. This is normal. This fall, in the next few weeks, actually, and into October, we will get millions of dollars in revenue. We typically will get 2 to 3 million in health and dental fees. We'll get all our fees from the fall semester, which will be 1.2, 1.3 million. So probably the next time I bring you the financial statements, these results will have changed significantly. and we'll be very close to a balanced position, and we'll get to that balanced position by the winter semester. So one of the questions you might have is, okay, that's fine that you have a big deficit after 4 months, but do you have the cash in the bank to cover that deficit until you get your money in the fall? So this is no different for those of you that are balancing your own budgets. As you get closer to the year end of school and your bank account gets a little bit less and a little bit less, and you're always looking to make sure you have enough money, we have to do the same thing. So if we flip to the statement of financial position or the balance sheet, you'll see we're in pretty solid position right now. Total current assets are about 6.5 million, which is made up of over 6 million in cash. We have another million in restricted cash, so total assets are 10.7 million. So that unrestricted cash, that just a little over $6 million, that's what covers us in the summertime when we don't have a lot of revenue coming in. The $1 million in restricted cash is cash that we hold in reserve, excuse me, in case health and dental claims are significantly higher than what we anticipated, and we run out of health and dental money, and we have to tap into those reserves to pay the claims that were presented to us. That's never happened. Knock on wood, hopefully it never will, but we're legally obligated to hold a reserve in case it ever does. So the good thing about holding that $1 million reserve is that it's always earning interest. So that's good, and it goes up and up and up and up. I think I'll open it up to questions now, but I think the main thing I wanted to get across is don't be overly concerned about a deficit to this point in time. That's happened every year I've been here and will continue to happen into the future. It's just the way we operate and how our revenue streams work. So I'll leave it at that and open it up to any questions if there are any.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Do any of the directors have questions? Yeah, my thing was just like the Wilf's deficit, but obviously summer's not very busy, so that makes sense. And then same with like the food court.
Yeah. So for those of you, that's a good question. We don't really open Wilf's. We do some catering over the summer, but we're still incurring expenses in paying our full-time staff, bringing in food for the fall, et cetera, et cetera. So again, Wilf's always operates at a deficit over the summer. One of our goals with Wilf's is to look at additional catering opportunities in the summer to try to offset those costs, and maybe we can operate it in the summer at a balanced position. We haven't got there yet, but we'll continue to work for that.
Also, was there any, I know like with the renos, was there any like expenses about the renos in the Wilf's expenses, or would that be a different category?
Sorry, what? I couldn't hear you.
The renos that are happening at Wilf's?
No, those are all being capitalized, so they don't hit the income statement. So we're still doing all the planning for that. So the only costs we've incurred so far are architect and design costs, which we will capitalize. So no, nothing yet has hit those the expense.
Well, if there are no more questions, we're good. Thank you, Chris. That was very informative.
Yeah, and again, if anybody has any questions, you can email me or message me whenever you want, and I'd be happy to answer anything. And I will sign off for the night and leave you guys to the rest of your meeting. So thank you.
All
right, bye.
Actually, gonna take a question.
Yeah.
So the operating procedures agreement, was that part of the monitoring report, or is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was just wondering if that would be like re-signed, or what's happening with that, and then also just like updates with the patrol, if you're gonna change the patrol to. Because it mentions it in it.
Yeah, so yeah, that operating procedure agreement was signed back in 2018, and hasn't been fully renegotiated since. It's been a work in progress, largely on Phil's plate for the last year and a bit. It honestly goes hand in hand with that air chillers project. There's a lot of facilities and asset management stuff in the OPA. So of course, we would love to move the OPA forward with the chillers. There's some pushback institutionally on not doing them kind of step by step. So that, all that language will be updated when we sign a new one, but we don't have a date on that yet. It is inch by inch, kind of day by day.
All right. Okay. This brings us to our financial report. We can move on to the Board of Governors by-election. So there are 9 candidates. Who here is a candidate? You guys all?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then there's 2. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do about a 2-minute introduction, so you can just introduce yourselves, tell us, maybe some of your experience, why you'd make a good candidate.
Yeah. To the chair at this table.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, so you guys will do your intro about 2 minutes, and then, the directors can ask you questions. And it'll probably be about like a 1-minute answer for the question. If you do that. Okay. And also in your introduction, can you just, say your full name, just so the directors can know who you are? And, the board meeting, the Board of Governor meetings are already preset, the dates are already preset, there's 4 more meetings for the year. Have you guys got a chance to look at those dates? No. Okay, you just have to make sure that you're available to come to those meeting dates. I can pull them up there after you guys go, but that's just important that you can make those meeting availabilities. All right, so do any of you guys want to go first? Go you, first.
So we're here.
Yeah, you can sit or stand, doesn't matter. When there's. I don't know.
Just come on to this side of the table so the camera can picture. Sure, yeah, no problem.
Oh, time.
So just come this way, stand right next to the.
Oh, here?
Just a little this way a little bit.
Okay.
So you can see yourself in the.
Oh, right, no problem. Okay, cool.
All right, so she'll give you like the mark, so she's gonna raise her hand at like 10 seconds left, is that okay? So just kind of keep an eye on timing
Sure.
for that. So, what's your name, sir?
Nathan Arsenal.
Okay, perfect. All right, whenever you're ready, 3.
Hi, like I said, my name is Nathan Arsenault, and I'm a 3rd-year political science student who's specializing in legal studies as well as minoring in French. I come before you today to demonstrate why I think I'm a perfect fit for the role of Board of Governors at Laurier. Ever since I came to Laurier, I immediately fell in love with the place. I immediately got this sense of community among the staff and students, and I immediately wanted to enrich myself in that. I also got a sense of belongingness, which is why I've called it my home the past 3 years. Because of this, I found that I would love to be a part of the behind-the-scenes work of the university. I believe my willingness to improve the operations of this school and to overall voice the diverse opinion of the student body make me the right fit. In terms of areas I feel like I'd excel in terms of committees, I feel as though I could contribute to all of them, but more specifically the executive as well as human resources. In terms of the executive, I feel as though my strategic planning, as well as my ability to collaborate with others and help to ultimately implement policies that align with the university goals would make me a right fit in that position. As well for human resources, my ability to work with tons of people, encapsulate many different ideas, and overall enforce a positive work environment make me the right fit. I want to thank you all for hearing me out today, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone who wants to, yeah, go ahead.
Does that to go up for?
We asked, sorry, we asked everyone the same questions at the end, so you're all, answer the same questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do like.
You just sit back down until.
Yeah, sorry, it's really clear, yeah, we'll do all the intros,
Yeah.
and then we'll ask like a couple questions, and all the candidates get a chance to answer the same questions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right, so guys, my name is Miguel Gonzalez. I'm a 3rd-year BBA student, and today I'd just like to present my case as to why I think I'd be best fit for the governor. I'm a little sick, so if I cough or sneeze, I apologize in advance, but hope you guys can bear with me. So this is a big role and requires a lot of trust. So I feel like you guys should get a good understanding of my background. I come from a bit of an unorthodox background. I spent my first 2 years of university actually running a painting business, which I was able to scale successfully. This was a big challenge for me, as I was running a business on a budget of a broke university student. And every day with that budget, I had to make decisions that would maximize value for not just my customers, but my employees and my business partners as well. Pair this with the fact that I have a general love for finance and accounting, which I see a lot of this role involving heavily in that. I'm a third year BBA student. I've taken a bunch of accounting and finance courses, and I plan on writing my CFA when I graduate. I feel like these two parts of my character really make me a good fit for this role. I have experience doing financial planning and business setting, and I would feel like I have a really good opportunity to apply that for the laureate board. Secondly, competency is great, but what's the good of that if it's not being applied to what students value? In my time at Laurier, I've interacted with a bunch of different students. I've been a part of intramurals teams, I've been a part of clubs, I've interacted with art students, science students, etc. And through talking to these students, I've gotten a really good grasp of what students value. At the end of the day, people just want to make sure that their tuition dollars are being spent right, and money is being put into what people value. This is something that I will always keep in the back of my mind when I'm making decisions as governor. Really, the position is to reflect the value of the students and what they want. Not only that, but outside of the boardroom, outside of the meetings and strategy, I'd make sure that I put in the work to talk to all different types of students. And am I good or 10 seconds? Cool. I would talk to all different types of students, ask the good questions, understand what they want, and reflect those ones when I'm making decisions. Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing? My name is Marco Samuel, and I'm ready to get started. Okay. So like I said, my name is Marco Samuel, second year student doing a communications with business management option. So that works hand in hand with the idea of being a board of governor. I've got the business background. I've taken numerous accounting courses and will continue to take that throughout my years. And I also excel in the idea of communicating with one another. I love Laurier. I represent Laurier on a day-to-day basis. I work as a residence life don at 202 Leicester. I referee for basketball, soccer, and flag football in the athletics department. And next year, I plan on being a convener and also plan on being a RIC. The board of directors or board of governors, sorry, is a role that oversees the idea of students and where their money will go. And I think to be in a role like that, you need to be connected with the students. And that's where my role as a Don comes into play. I interact with students on a day-to-day basis. I organize events for my students on a day-to-day basis. I act as their big brother and act as that middleman in between organizing Laurier or first year events, and also organize events that they are more willing to attend and also enjoy. And that's the idea behind of being a governor. You are there for the students and the students first. And my prior experience has shown the capability of doing such roles. And I also have recently joined the club that's now in the Students' Union, which is our Waterloo Ethiopian Eritrean Student Association. I was a part of the executive team last year. And this year I'll be acting as a role as a public relations officer. So these are my roles and these are my prior experiences, and I feel that these roles will provide a great experience, set of experience.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Okay, hello everyone. I want to thank everyone for the opportunity of having us here today to present. My name is Ahmed Shahir Ahmadi. I'm deeply honored to be able to run for the open seat of board of directors. Currently, I'm a computer science student, and I serve as undergrad student representative for the Physics and Computer Science Department of the Faculty of Science Student Division Council. In this role, I partake in decisions that shape academic policy, academic programming, admissions policies, and student experiences. We do this through partaking in committees such as the Student Liaison Committee, the Curriculum and Programming Committee, and this helps me have an understanding of university governance and student advocacy. I've also helped build a community center for a underrepresented and underrepresented minority group that lacks resources. We were able to raise $660,000 in the past 3 weeks for them in order to build a community center on the township of, I forget the name, but it's on township of Wilmot on Ottawa and Trustler. And we hope that we're able to collect the funds for that. I have a meeting today with them at 7 in order to build up the governance and the board of members, for them as well. I also helped set up a governance DAO in blockchain. With my technical background in computer science, I'm able to help structure governance in order to make sure that everybody gets a fair share. So in the country of Haiti, we're running a governance DAO where with billions of dollars that got invested into it. 10 seconds. Okay, the $10 billion that got invested into it, we're being scammed by political leaders and corrupt people in power. We basically set up governance where the community was able to say where they wanted infrastructure. So they wanted a university here and a school here. They got to say into where they wanted their community to be built. I believe my technical background in computer science helps me bring a fresh vision into the board of governors. I believe I want to bring in data-driven decisions and innovative solutions that would help the board of governors with their allocating resources, student services, and their future plans as well. Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, you're
good.
good. Just making sure you're in the front.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arun Srivastava. I am a 4th-year communication student at Laurier, of course. I'd like to quickly start off with the reason why I'm running for Board of Governors. So I am actually part of the student union. I volunteer with HOPWA. I am an exec for them. I do operation and logistics for them. It is my 2nd year in the service, and over my time with them, I have walked a variety of students. I get to interact with a bunch of people part of the university. And I love talking to them about their experiences, what they see as weaknesses, what they see as strengths, what would they like for this university to improve. And that actually kind of motivated me because I've always been I wouldn't say business, but I've always wanted to help people make sure they feel comfortable in areas I've probably have power, probably can make a difference in. So in addition to that, over the last 4 years, I have familiarized myself with policy of this university and the facilities and resources that's made available towards students, and I myself have ideas which can be improved as well. As for committees, which I would be interested in serving on, like many of us already mentioned in the past, I'd like to serve on all of them, but if I was to be more specific, I'd say HR and executive, mostly because I've done work in this sort of area before. I have interned over the last 3 summers, both back home and in Canada. I did public policy for a hotel chain in India where I was making policies and also helping out with risk assessment, making sure the company abided by all regulations and rules, both domestically and internationally. I also worked marketing, and I also worked brand and even financial assessments for the same firm, did annual reports and budgeting and analysis of reports for the news media as well. So I feel like all of these experiences can help me in creating an overall plan which can help the university, it can help students in better quality of life at Wilfrid Laurier, and not just first years who just come in, but also graduates, and also maybe contribute to the development of the university as a whole. Thank you so much. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions at the end.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we'll do the last one in Waterloo and then we'll go to Brentford.
Hi, my name is Abdul Aziz.
Sorry, you just have to come in.
Yeah.
A little bit forward, if you can go around the chair. Yeah. That's good.
That's fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Abdul Aziz. I'm a 2nd-year computer science student at Wilfrid Laurier. I serve as the student representative for the computer science and physics department for the term 2024 and 25. So my past experiences and the skills that I've gained from them led me to believe that I would make a perfect fit for this position of governor. I was the VP of administration and finance back in India in a summit called Global Diplomacy Summit. I was also the peer educator last time, which helped me hone my communication skills. So back in high school, I used to play a concerning amount of football, right? And so used to score goals and not make people, make them feel better about themselves. But I wasn't led into the team because I was apparently not friends with the college captain. I complained to the principal, I complained to the coaches, nothing happened. and which led me to like experience bad governance and lack of leadership firsthand. So this motivated me to be like, be the head of an organization and be precise in everything that has to be executed without any unfairness in the play. So the goal that I have in mind to be the governor is to improve student life and set the students up for a great future ahead, which is through improving the connections and networking system of students of Wilfrid Laurier University. Right, so yeah, that's probably it. Thank you.
Thank you. Others.
You grab your keyboard and just put it in the chat.
Okay. Can we move this forward?
The keyboard's wireless, yeah.
All right, so Vice Chair Michael is going to type in the chat when you guys have 10 seconds left in your introduction speeches for the candidates in Brantford. All right, so I guess we can start with Yolanda. I have to go first. And if you guys, if you can turn on your cameras if possible. So whenever you're ready, we'll start the timer for 2 minutes. Whenever you're ready, you can start. Oh.
Her mic's not working.
Okay, wait. Is it good?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. My name is Yolanda Ayala Ngumba, and I'm ready to start whenever.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so hi, my name's Yolanda, and I'm a first-year student at Wilfrid Laurier, and I'm doing honors science, and I'm minoring in management. Over the summer, I worked for an accounting firm where I would do bookkeeping, and I would do bank records. And through that experience, I gained an interest in auditing and accounting, which is why for the Board of Governors, I am most interested in the Auditing, Risk, and Compliance Committee. As well, on top of that experience, I gained skills in communication, organization, time management, and attention to detail, which I feel like are all very important when looking at things like, yes, financial records or managing accounts. As well, in high school, I was a part of a athletic council where my role was to manage inventory, create scheduling for different events, and I would figure out ways to get student participation and students involved in the activities being planned. Since it is my first year here at Laurier, I obviously have not had a lot of time here, but my goal is to foster a positive student environment where all students can feel like they're being heard, and that, what they're spending or what their experience here at Laurier, like, it's justified. And yeah, thank you for this.
Perfect, thank you. We just have to change the thing because we're on a turn. Yeah. All right. Okay, so the next person to go, Ritika, you have your camera on, is that you? Perfect, thank you, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so can I start?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Kritika, and I'm truly honored to be here. I'm currently pursuing a BSc in computer science with minors in UX and French, and I'm a second year student. So, firstly, I would like to say that I'm deeply passionate about a student representation because it's very important that the voices are heard, and especially in the decisions that affects us all. So through my experiences, the past experiences, and like I've been a vice president of training and development in the first year leadership program, and I've been executive member in few of the clubs. And recently, I've been an icebreaker in the student union team, which has actually motivated me to come to this position. I've developed strong leadership and collaboration and communication skills, and these roles have given me like a unique perspective on how to think and deal with situations. So I believe that what excites me about this role is to give it a chance to see how everything describes and how everything is done in the university level and how they actually influence not only like with the current students but definitely with the future generations as well. So I'm confident that my background, including my leadership experience and my experience of other areas, is definitely a perfect fit for what I am currently at. So my goal is to help like foster a huge gap between the students and the board. My goal is to help like to foster every possible difficulties a student is facing. And I feel that every student should be valued and represented well in the Board of Governors. And thank you for considering me for this opportunity. I look forward to answering any questions. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, and our last candidate, Steve, you wanna go ahead?
Does it, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Hi, my name is Hasti Karampour. I'm in my fourth year of political science here at Laurier. The reason I wanted to get involved is because me, like many other students, I've taken full advantage of the resources that Laurier has had to offer, starting with O Week to clubs, to events, to wellness center, even food services. And I really want to be involved in decision making that goes into that. The reason I think I'm a good fit for the role is because I have a like hefty background in doing things that like bookkeeping and budgeting and auditing. In high school, I was on the treasury team of my student body, so I know a lot about budgeting and specifically budgeting for a school. I was a bookkeeper at a camp in U of T. I also know a lot that confidentiality is a big part of this role. I've worked at a law firm before where confidentiality is the #1 thing. But yeah, I just want to get involved with the resources that we offer students, especially since I'm a fourth year student. I just want to make sure that the future generations of Laurier students get to take full advantage of the same resources that we take advantage of. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. All right, we're gonna move on into questions. We'll probably do about 2 or 3 depending on time. And we will ask questions. Do any of the directors have questions?
Yeah. Okay. So my question is simple. Being a member of like the board of governors is that they're not taking over the so my question is how do you plan on managing your time in your activities and classes and like that would be like first. Like the classes first and then board of governors and then anything. So how do you know how you
Sorry,
Sorry.
your voice cut off when you were asking.
Yeah, I just continuing about the question, we're gonna put it in the chat. So, I just told you. Just spread it. Okay, I'm just gonna type it in the chat. Alright. Okay, so I guess you guys can just stay seated for this one, because we have about the next 2 minutes to answer it. So we'll start from we'll just go like this way now. Please, or something. Oh yeah, class, right, yes. Okay. Thank you guys, so good luck.
Thank you, how's it going?
Okay. Oh, right, yes, okay, yeah, okay. All right, we'll start with Nathan.
Yeah.
You can go up to the table, just so the people online can see you as well. All right, so. Yeah, you're good.
So in terms of how I make time for this position, as it is, I consider school to my top priority like many. But over the years at Laurier, the past couple of years, I haven't always been able to find what I should do in my free time. I feel as though I would be completely committed to this position because it is right up my alley. I want to pursue policy as well as legal in terms of law school later on. I feel as though this would give me so much more purpose. I'd be dedicating what I believe is so right to our school as well as just our student body and our staff. I feel as though I would give every second of my day, well, not every second, but a lot of free time out of my day to doing something that I love. And this is building towards that. So I feel as though this position is what I need to solidify my overall commitment to this school. That being said, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I've been balancing time constraints since high school, where I worked 2 jobs working at McDonald's, junior achievement, and also taking 4 or 5 courses in high school. This last semester, I came off of taking 6 courses while helping build the community center while voluntarily taking time commitments off my day in order to go and help the community that's local to me as well. I've been able to do this for a long time, and I've helped social clubs as well in the university, and yeah, time constraints shouldn't be an issue for me. But
Pull up to my Zoom key button, say hi to you guys, sir. We good to go?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, for me, I the big thing is the fact that all of our meetings are scheduled ahead. So I know what days I need to be and what days I need to be in the office or be in the boardroom. So the fact that everything is scheduled out, I'll have everything on my calendar. Like my fellow Dons know, we've got to be organized. We've got to know when our Hawk Talks needs to be done. We've got a deadline for that. There's a lot of strict deadlines in terms of that. So using that prior experience and prior knowledge will be very beneficial in terms of that. I keep a strict schedule. I am very involved in school, but I also have a lot of free time because the involvements aren't that extensive. I ref only a couple of days a week. Donning doesn't require that much besides special weekends. So the fact that everything will be organized and scheduled prior to then, even if I were to have a conflict in regards to attending a meeting or anything like that, the fact that everything's scheduled ahead, I'll be able to handle that situation and schedule my accordingly towards that.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Am I good?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I'd say that, as I was saying before, my first 2 years of university, I was mainly running a business. And for that business to work while I was in school, I basically needed to dedicate around 25 to 30 hours a week outside of classes to make that work. So given that and making everything work, I kind of had to learn time management. Excuse me, I said I'm sick. And I'd say the two main things on making sure that happens is number one, how on top you are on time management, and number two, the type of tools you use. So how I handled it before is number one, I basically blocked out a time in my day, like a Sunday planning session, where I would list all the commitments that I needed to do in the week ahead, and then basically block those into my days and know exactly the time that I would do that. And then also use tools to help me do that. So number one, that was Google Calendar, and number two, that was Notion through to-do lists and calendars. That's how I was able to make it work in the past, and I have less commitments now, so I feel like I should be able to use that same approach with this.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So I did actually research ahead for the schedule for the board meeting, so I am aware that there is one November 14th, and then after that it's in February 14th, and then 24th April. We were told to check that before applying, so I did to make sure I am available for those dates, and I have made sure I am for this semester, at least for the November meeting. I do not have any midterms around that time. As for my courses, I did check ahead. I did see my group projects also slightly before and some well after as well. So I am well aware for the commitment. I have kept that as a time commitment that if I do get elected, I can attend those meetings properly. In addition to that, just juggling, I do have extracurriculars, like I do Hawkwalk. I do also have, I play for the university tennis. I do university badminton and also the intramural dodgeball. If, let's say, any of these commitments do arrive at around the time these board meetings do occur, I do realize that this is an important, working for the Board of Governors is important, working towards the betterment of the university. So there are some compromises that have to be made. I am doing the same, I can play tennis, basketball, all these later as well. So I will make a compromise if in case I have to, but when it comes to the skill set, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, just gotta remember.
No, that's it.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
So the events on my schedule are more like priority based. The low priorities can get skipped and the main priorities are priority, right? So there's like two things here, variables and constants. Constants are the classes that I have, they cannot be shifted. Variables are the ones that I planned one day before. So yeah, that's probably it. So I step in that. Thank you.
Yolanda, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so throughout high school, I was involved in many things. I was like involved in sports and extracurricular clubs that went past school times. And so I feel like throughout that, I was able to really manage like studying time and then homework time, but also like still make free time for myself. And I did that usually through like agendas, or I'd make notes on my computer, which I find really helped me in succeeding with managing my time very well. So obviously here, because there are less classes that I'm taking, and not many clubs or teams that I'm on, I feel like I can have a better grip on managing time when it comes to making time for meetings or preparations for this position.
Perfect, thank you. All right, Ritika?
Yeah, so firstly, I would like to say that I fully understand the commitment needed for the Board of Governors, and I'm ready to make it my top priority. So, as soon as I listen to the word time commitment, what comes in my mind is prioritizing what is actually needed. So, as like a common thing, I would definitely prioritize the meetings of Board of Governors as it's already scheduled before. And with my past experience and everything, I've known how to manage my time well. I can plan and keep my things intact so that time is used effectively. And through my past roles, I have gained the experience so that I can commit my time well. And to stay committed, I will set specific goals and set like specific time blocks so that I know when the board meetings are necessary to be attended. And I will keep a track of my duties so that I'm well prepared in advance.
Thank you. All right, and lastly,
Yeah, my number one thing is always pre-planning things. I think when you plan things, obviously if there's an emergency, you can always communicate, but my number one thing is planning things. I am a big Notion person. I have like an extensive Notion class schedule, that I can cross-reference really easily. So for example, like the November 14th meeting, I could easily just go in and see, well, I don't have any midterms, I don't have any classes, I don't have anything due. So I already knew I could attend that. Obviously, I don't 100% know that yet for next term, but I'm sure that will be easy to figure out. And then the number two thing is communication. So if something comes up and you cannot make it, I strongly believe you need to let people know, whether it's an emergency or if it's like you get your syllabus and you have a midterm that day, as early as you can let people know that you will not be there. And if you have any responsibilities, maybe doing them beforehand and sending them into the rest of the board. So you have done your part, even if you cannot be there in present because of an emergency or something.
Perfect, thank you. All right. Do you
May
have
I?
any
Yeah.
questions?
So I wrote this question down. So my question is, as a member of the Board of Governors, you will be involved in financial oversight. So, does anyone here or have experience reviewing financial statements? And can you explain how you may be able to interpret key elements such as the balance statement, income statements, cash flow reports in the context of the decision making? Maybe through coursework or through a previous job.
Yeah, if you could just put that in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put that in chat once.
And we're gonna go in reverse order when we're answering this question.
Okay.
So we'll start with Asti first.
Yeah, so I have previous experience. I was on the treasury of my high school. Obviously, it wasn't as extensive as a university board of governors would be because we also had people overseeing us because we were just kids. But yeah, so through that, I learned a lot about checks and balances, cash flow, and then in non-school settings, I've done work at a law firm where I handled a lot of money and cash, to be specific. And then I worked at I was a marketing intern, but I also dabbled in the accounting department of that job, where we learn a lot about payroll and how like payroll affects things, and through payroll how to budget things, and just checks and balances like that.
Thank you. Ritika, go ahead. Have you
Yeah. So basically, like I have a past experience back home in East Africa, and there, like I had some experiences in like one of the organization where I went through like some of the financial statements, not a lot of experience, but then which is considerably fine. And like when I actually look into like the balance sheets or when I look into the asset or liabilities or like the financial health or anything. So for me, it's like basically for the income statements, I focus I focus on like how much money is coming and going out to understand how the organization is making a profit. And with the cash flows reports, I would like to say that I look at the cash coming in and out to make sure that there's enough money to pay the bills. So this knowledge helps me to make like smart decisions about the board.
Thank you. All right, Lorena?
Yeah, so just this summer, I worked at an accounting firm, and at my time working there, I just did bookkeeping, and I made financial statements. And, you know, I would always make sure that those financial statements balanced out with what the bank statements were saying. So I do have some knowledge in that. And currently in my management option, I am taking an accounting course. So I'm further, like, as my time here at Laurier progresses, like, I will start to understand how to do like income statements or equity statements. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. All right, and then we'll start from this end down.
So like I said, I was the VP of Administration and Finance at GDS, that is Global Diplomacy Summit in 2023. So over a span of 2 months, 2 to 3 months, hopefully, I looked at funds, managed them, coordinated with the treasurer and the guy looking for sponsors, finding sponsors for the organization. And I, basically did most of the work when it came to financing and like managing the entire execution of the event. So that is one experience.
Thank you.
So I have 2 experiences while handling finances. One, I'll start off small, is with the university, well, not in the university, but I am a VP for a club which was started last year. It's our Laurier Architecture Club. I'm VP for finance. I work their budgeting, making sure we had enough money for events and socials and even boothing and events which we held for our general members. Moving on to more serious, I did this summer actually work in a corporate job where I worked with the finance team to interpret and analyze our annual report, which was to work on what our profits were, what was our loss, depreciation, what is our corporate tax structure, how do we pay that, and how do we handle finances for our future hotel expansions, not just in India, but also internationally as well. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, so to address the first part of the question, which is to understand like your experience regarding financial statements, I had to review my own financial statements to make sure my own business was running profitably. I've taken courses, as I said before, in accounting and finance. And what I'm also doing now is I'm dabbling in consulting. I'm helping some other people start their painting businesses, reviewing their financial statements and making sure that they're operating well. And then to speak on your piece of interpretation, you mentioned the 3 main ones, balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. I'm not sure how in-depth you want this answer to be, but I guess in interpreting a balance sheet, you want to make sure that your current assets are greater than your current liabilities. You want to measure that as a ratio and basically, are we in a healthy state? Do we have more than what we owe? And then second, if we're looking at an income statement, most important thing is going to be EBITDA or net income. Are we making money? Are we growing profitably? And then cash flow. Is our cash flow coming from our operations or are we getting it from financing?
Thank you.
In regards to any prior experience, I have taken numerous courses in high school and in university in regards to accounting and finances. But in terms of applying the theory, I haven't been in a position in doing so. I do, however, invest heavily in our portfolio. I have a TFSA account, non-registered, and I've also started on my retirement savings plan. And I do my parents' taxes in regards to that. So in regards to balancing my income and my income from my capital gains is a very tough role. And also doing my parents' taxes has helped in terms of finances in regards to that. In regards to applying the theory, a role like this would be a great start, and also something that my previous experience will help me adapt very fast.
Perfect, thank you.
So assessing the financial statements of a company is key to understanding the financial health of the company. My previous work job I worked at my previous call I worked at Junior Achievement, where I assessed direct deposits and made financial statements, assessing the cash flow statements as well as expenses, and making sure that the overall donors were greater than the expenses in order to make sure that the company sustains itself and achieves the success, and it was able to impact the community positively, as it was a voluntary position in a community service role.
All right, so honestly, I don't have any experience in terms of finances other than managing my own personally and checking my credit card bill at the beginning of each month. What I do have is analytical skills that I've gained throughout my university courses in terms of analyzing cases, getting key information, and be able to make decisions based on that information. Even throughout high school, I did many mock trials, which required me to analyze key data, key information that in the end helps us make a great and sound decision. So while I don't have any experience in finances, I'm the kind of person that is like a sponge. If you're going to tell me something that I need to learn, I'm going to learn it no matter what, and I'm going to excel in that as best as I can. But with that being said, I look forward to possibly excelling in that area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Any directors? Okay. I think we've got through enough information from everyone. I think we're ready. All right, so.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
So,
Abstain. Right. Okay. All right, so directors, you would have received the link for the form. Yeah, thank you guys all for running. You guys all seem very qualified and willing and dedicated to the role. And yeah, I do recommend you all run in the elections. Nomination package is open in December. You can run through the board of directors, the Senate, and the board of governors for the open positions. So December, look out for those, and then the elections in January. So if you're here next year.
you try.
Sorry. All right, thank you everyone for coming out. The successful candidate is Miguel, so thank you so much.
What do I do now?
And Miguel, you'll receive an email with more information your student email, so check your student email.
Cool.
And yeah, thank you everyone for coming out. You don't have to stick around. if You don't want to.
Is there a second or third place that we can over?
Pardon?
Is there a second or third place that we can hear them just?
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Fair enough. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Thank you for coming. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you everyone in Brantford or on Zoom as well.
Like, I'm sorry. Everyone else is great. Thank you, man.
Have you said?
I was on how like the audience.
He wanted to wear a suit. He asked me, that'd be my, I mean, he's like, should I wear a suit? And I was like, I don't think that's horrible. I think I was the complete opposite.
I think that's
Yeah,
just about one kid is like,
Yeah,
I don't wanna break his heart, man.
I know, yeah, only for group nurses.
Wait, that one. Okay.
I will say, like, I'm kind of happy I didn't get a vote because everyone's like, they were all good. They were all really good.
Very true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, we can move on to the Winter to Drag sponsorship expense.
Yeah. So Winter to Drag is an event that we've supported for the last few years. It started off, I want to say 4 years ago on the Brantford campus. It was funded by the Student Life Levy. The Student Life Levy can only fund one time event, so when they wanted to do it again the next year, they couldn't apply for funding through that. So the Student Union, in partnership with some folks in Student Affairs, have contributed funds to fund it year over year since then. So I think this is year 4 of it. So it's the 3rd year we're looking to fund it. They've upped their ask a little bit over previous years with rising costs, so it's hit the 10K mark for the first time this year, which is why I went to the UED to get approval for it. So I have $7,000 in my budget already set aside for it, so we're gonna contribute that, and an additional 3 coming from the programming and services Brantford budget. So it's not any additional expenses we're incurring, we're just allocating currently approved money. But since we had hit the 10K threshold, we wanted to get approval from you folks. And then kind of as a side note, we're working with that department, the newly reports into Jason Coolman as the VP External Advancement. It used to be part of the Senior Executive Officer's office in Brantford, which that role was eliminated this summer or before. So we're looking at what the future of the event looks like. So it's not them asking for money year over year in perpetuity, but figuring out a longer-term funding plan. But for now, we're just looking at funding it for the 1 year at $10,000 mark. So just want to get approval from you folks for it.
Good. Yeah, does anyone have any questions? Comments?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, what were the budgets in the previous year?
So I haven't seen like the event budgets previously. Last year, the student union contributed $7,000 for the event, and I think that's pretty consistent since they, I think that's.
So what's the reason for the?
The reason that we got told was just inflation, rising cost of doing the event.
You're not like adding anything like.
No, there's no major changes to the event. I suspect part of it as well is the institution just has less money, so asking other departments of the university for funds is probably kind of a little bit shorter than it has previously.
I might have missed this while we back, but where was the 3K originally like going towards?
So that $3,000 is currently in the programming and services VP budget and Hawk team. So it's just, we have X number of dollars set aside for entertainers every year. Partially in the VP budget, partially in Hawk team. So we're using some of that money towards this event since it's ultimately a large scale program for students anyway. So it kind of fits with how that money was already budgeted.
Okay, well, I guess we can move into voting. Can I get a motion that the board of directors approve the over $8,000 expense for the Winter to Drag sponsorship event? Motion by Director Ujam, seconded by Director Spiritu. All right, any discussion on the matter? Okay, we can move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes 0 to 11, no 10, 0 to 10. All right, move on to the Student Life Levy Committee election. So Student Life Levy is a committee in Brantford, and there's a fund that the board of people on the Student Life Levy Committee, which includes some of the directors, myself, and then there's also some people from Laurier who are voting members as well. Ben's also voting on that. Yeah, so there's a fund in Brantford and it provides, like you said, one-time support for student clubs or events that they're running. And the goal of these events is to enhance student experience on Brantford. So there's a whole list of, I think it was in the agenda package, there's a whole like list of like what the money should be going towards, like what they look for in clubs, and clubs submit applications, and then we have 2 or 3 meetings with the student life levy, and we go through each of their applications and either approve or reject their like, if they want money or not. So for this one, since it's on Brantford, the 2 Brantford directors, so Director Teddy and Director Gatsby-Shaw, you guys will both be on the committee already, along with myself, and then we need 1 other director. So, yeah, Director Gatsby-Shaw, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, is this page 85? And the
Near the end.
Okay.
91?
89. Yeah, it's just 84.
Student life levy? Oh yeah, it's like the agreement. Yeah, it's just the ending pages, 84. But no, that's not that one. 85. 85 is like the agreement, and then there's more information, like lower in the agenda about the actual. Right, yeah, I got that in right. Yeah, the fall term meeting is November 27th at 10:30 in the morning. And yeah. All right, so yeah, it's a pretty low commitment. It's just 2 or 3 meetings, and you just have to go through the applications and you know them, and then. So it's not a ton of commitment. So I need 1 more director. Do any directors nominate themselves or someone else? From one of you. Okay, All right, so, you stand. And then, do you have to stand?
There,
Yeah, okay.
so you just motion to elect the board.
Yeah. All right, can I get a motion that the board of directors elect, Vice Chair Havard Michael, Director Teddy, and Director Gatsby-Shaw, as well as, myself to the Student Life Levy, committee. Motion by Director Teddy, seconded by Director Bloomcat. Is there any discussion on the matter? No. All right, we'll move into voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Vote passes, 0, 1 to 9. No. 0, 1 to 9, because Gatsby-Shaw, you abstained, which doesn't matter, but. Okay. All right, and yeah, you guys will receive emails about information. You'll receive an email from, her name's Andrea, with like the meeting invite and then access to all the packages or the application packages. So and the meeting for that one, the first one's in November 27th. So look out for it. I don't know how soon she.
Usually that would be part of the meeting.
Okay, yeah, so later in November, you'll receive the information with all that. And feel free to send me any questions, because I was on the committee last year, so I kind of know how it works. But do prepare notes for the meeting, because they want the students to talk first. We have to give our opinions, and then the school will go from there. All right. Okay, we can move into the in-camera. What are you saying?
I'm just.
we just have to motion first.
Okay, sure.
Sorry.
No.
You have to bring you in.
Yeah, of course.
What's your name? No. All right, can I get a motion that the board of directors proceed to an in-camera along with Ian and then the board secretary? Motion by Director Chetty, seconded by Director St. George. All right, any discussion on the matter? Well, all right, move into voting. All those opposed, all those abstaining, and all those in favor. Vote passes 0, 0 to 10. All right, We will see you guys in teams. And yeah, you can go. Sorry.
If I open the door to someone in the back, that's really.
They didn't lock?
They didn't lock it, it
Oh.
said vacant. I opened